Good morning, card community. Is RJ back with another video, so let's get to it. Today's random Mike Schmidt item of the day kind of went against my own rules when I picked this up. I stopped picking up high expensive Mike Schmidt autographed cards. I'm trying to limit myself to not buying any autographed cards that are more than like 50 bucks because the prices have come down to that level. But this one, for whatever reason, I went in. It's still under $100, but it's more than I wanted to pay. It is a card from 2023, apparently, Leaf. It is called The Art of Sports, and this is Arts and Graphs 2. It is a dual signature card, dual relic card of Mike Schmidt and Chipper Jones, and they're both sticker autos, but this one is numbered 2 out of 2. Mike Schmidt relic. It appears to have some, I want to say, stitching with his name on it or some kind of stitching there. Don't know, but that's pretty cool. The Chipper Jones relic is just a napkin card, napkin piece, so to speak. Yeah, I can't find this issue in the tradingcarddatabase.com. I can't find a Leaf issue called The Art of Sports anywhere. I figure multi-sport, it would be listed under there. I can't find it. Can't find it under Leaf anything from 2023. I went back as far as 2021, hoping that it was some kind of, wrong thing. Maybe it's, this year, but I didn't see anything in 2024. So I really don't know where this card is to add it to my database, but it's a pretty cool card. 2 of 2, so that's nice to have. Again, it's sticker auto. You can see the stickers right there. But hey, it's a cool piece. My random baseball item of the day. I have here a bobble. Alex Rodriguez. This bobble display, Alex is in there in his Rangers uniform, Alex Rodriguez. I got it labeled on the top because I keep it stored on a shelf with a bunch of other bobbles. It says down here the company was Bobble Dobbles. It's definitely a genuine baseball merchandise because it's got MLB's logo on it. If you look on the back here, it's labeled by the Players Association and Major League Baseball. What I think this is the company that MLB went into back in the day. I believe this is from like around 2011 or something like that. There's no date specifically on it, but I know it's about, it's at least 10 years old, if not 20 years old, because Ichiro, I have an Ichiro one too, but this display, the red top up here, the pinstriping on the sides, this bobble layout, they made hundreds of different players in this particular format. And I think that's why some company went in with Major League Baseball, Bobble Dobbles made in China. Made in China, of course. But these bobbles are everywhere of everybody. There are hundreds of them. So if you're a bobble collector and you want to get, if you want to put together an impressive set of bobbles, I would say go after this particular bobble design because they made millions of them. First of all, they're very inexpensive, but you can get a big swath of players, current and veteran players. They have retired players in the series too. So that is my random baseball item of the day. Today's trivia question. It's still February, still preseason, so I'm still talking about free agent signings and trades and all kinds of great things like this. Today, I figured I'd talk about, this week I'm going to give out trivia questions about probably the worst free agent signings ever. So 3 questions about probably the worst free agent signings ever. One of which still rearing its ugly head today to the New York Mets. So there's a legendary contract for Mr. Bobby Bonilla. I can't remember the date, but it's like every June 30th or something like that. Hey, you'll see on the YouTube community or on your Facebook or whatever little post, Happy Bobby Bonilla Day, because that's the day that Bobby Bonilla gets paid $1.2 million by the New York Mets because they created a contract that would pay him the rest of his salary over the period of several years. In fact, it's still going today. My question to you is, what is the last year in which the New York Mets will pay Bobby Bonilla $1.2 million? I'm not sure if he'll live that long, but it's quite, you can look it up, find the answer. It's not that hard to find, but what is the last year of that contract in which Bobby Bonilla will be paid $1.2 million? So answer me that question. Your prize, we're doing serial numbered cards this week. We're getting rid of some cool cards or, lesser known players, but certainly, well-known major leaguers. This is from Topps Holiday, not 2019, Bowman Holiday. Mackenzie Gore pitcher, serial numbered out of 150. So this is like the blue plaid version or whatever. So it's just from Topps Holiday. Pretty cool card. That'll be your prize if you can answer that question. So send me an email with the correct answer. I will include my email in the description below along with a repeat of that question. You'll have today and tomorrow to answer. We'll pick a winner on Sunday, all right? So today, I'm getting back into something I enjoyed doing, but I had other things that took precedence over that. Forgotten Hall of Famers. So who today am I showing off? Well, the easiest ones to do are umpires, executives, managers, and the like. So today I have Mr. George Weiss, a very forgotten Hall of Famer. He was elected in 1971. This is from the Baseball Immortals set from SSC, back in the mid-'80s. And George Weiss is an executive, primarily with the New York teams, the New York Yankees, and eventually at one time with the Mets. But why is he a Hall of Famer? There's lots of executives. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more about George Weiss in a second, but suffice it to say, he never played the game maybe as a boy, but he was certainly never a prospect or a player at the professional level. But he is rightly deserving of Hall of Fame recognition, not just because of his success with the Yankees and later the Mets, but as we go back through his life, you'll see he was a success at every level of baseball that he participated in. So, Mr. George Weiss, our forgotten Hall of Famer for today, and let's see why. Here in a second, I'll be right back. George Martin Weiss was born on June 23, 1894 in New Haven, Connecticut, the first child of Anna and Conrad Weiss. Conrad was a German immigrant who owned a grocery store, and the Weisses later added a daughter, Florence, and a son, Edwin. Weiss began his baseball promotional career while still in high school, becoming manager of his high school baseball team. After graduation, he held most of this high school team together, brought in a couple of extra players, and formed a semi-pro team. He was able to promote the team significant enough to lure greats such as Ty Cobb and Walter Johnson, which earned him a lot of money and prestige in the New Haven area for baseball. Weiss's semi-pro team was so popular it began to rival the local Eastern League club. The Eastern League owners were so impressed they offered ownership of the New Haven franchise to Weiss, and he began a quick work to turn the club around, and they won the Eastern League pennant in 1920. Weiss was quickly becoming a well-respected man in organized baseball. Tragedy struck the New Haven club in December 1923 when Weiss and his manager were on a train crash outside of Forsyth, New York. Wild Bill Donovan, the manager, was killed along with 8 other passengers, but Weiss survived, suffering severe back trauma, which he spent a month in the hospital and suffered from for most of the rest of his career, although he did stay quite active. In 1928, Jack Dunn, the majority owner in the Baltimore Orioles minor league franchise, died, and the remaining shareholders offered the position to Weiss, who took over happily and began the process of turning the struggling Orioles franchise into a contender. He was well known and well respected for making artful deals in buying and selling players, and earned $242,000 for his team over the next few years while still fielding success. As the Depression deepened in the early 1930s, organized baseball relaxed the rules preventing major league teams from investing in minor league talent. The New York Yankees, much like the St. Louis Cardinals, began to purchase minor league teams to serve as farm systems. The Yankees selected George Weiss to run that baseball operation. Thus began quite an impressive run of Yankee success and building of talent. George Weiss was an astute judge of baseball talent and maintained an extensive scouting network throughout the nation. He began drafting and signing players such as Red Rolfe, Joe Gordon, Charlie Keller, Phil Rizzuto, and of course the great Joe DiMaggio, players who would become the backbone of the second great Yankees dynasty that won 4 straight World Series from 1936 through 1939. In 1948, with World War II over, Jacob Ruppert having passed on, and Ed Barrow having stepped down as GM for the Yankees, the owners gave that position to George Weiss following his fantastic leadership in the minor league system. Thus began the next great Yankee dynasty and the winning of 5 straight World Series from 1949 through 1953. George Weiss served as general manager of the New York Yankees from 1948 through 1960, presiding over the greatest period of success of any baseball team in the history of the game. They appeared in the World Series 10 of 13 years and won 7 of those appearances. There is no disputing George Weiss's greatness when it came to managing a team and its talent. Following the 1960 season, the owners of the Yankees decided that Casey Stengel, and thereby extension his general manager George Weiss, were too old to continue serving in their capacities. And they strongly suggested that the pair relieve gracefully rather than be fired, which they chose to do and ended up joining forces on the newly expanded New York Mets. George Weiss served as general manager of the New York Mets until 1966, yet even he and Casey Stengel could not make contenders out of the lowly team. He retired and in 1971 was elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame, having concluded an amazing career in baseball. He died on August 13th, 1972, and is fondly remembered by all who knew him. So that is a little look-see in the life of George Weiss. Hope you appreciated that. Hope you recognize how he just was able to create success at every level that he went to. He's a shrewd businessman, very good evaluator of talent, knew how to handle players, when to deal them, when to keep them, and all that fun stuff. But really quite an amazing life, certainly deserving of his Hall of Fame enshrinement back in 1971. So that's all I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed that. If you did, please consider like, subscribing, commenting, and all that jazz. Don't forget, come back on Wednesday and Friday. We will have more great stuff for you. So I hope to see you then. Have a great week. Take care.